Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to this week's fishing report. Before we get into the report, like usual guys, if you use any of the guides or resorts in today's fishing report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. And also, if you guys want your pictures featured in next week's fishing report, send them over on Facebook or email us at livinmnoutdoors@gmail.com. And with that being said, let's dive into this week's report. This week we're going to start up on Leech Lake. We were up there this past weekend. The walleye bite was on fire. Now, as far as where you can find those fish, we fished main lake structure, but very shallow. 4 to 8 feet of water, sand to weed transitions, and we pitched jigs and a leech and slip bobbers and a leech and had a ton of success and caught some really nice fish. Now, some other structure that you can look for is wind-blown brake lines and sand to weed transitions in 11 to 15 feet of water. Now, this past week, a jig and a leech was king. Slip bobbers and a leech and a jig and a night crawler, they produced a few fish, but a jig and a leech was king for this week. Now, I also heard that Portage Bay, 18 to 22 feet of water, there was a decent walleye bite in there too, so that might be worth checking out as well. Now, as far as the muskie bite goes, the muskies have moved up in shallow. Look in that 4 to 10 feet of water. They're on shallow weed lines and rocks, and the best ways to catch those right now are with bucktails and top water baits at low light periods. Now, as far as the panfish go, in the northern bays, the panfish, they've moved out from the shallow water. They're hanging out on them deep weed lines. Some of the crappies are even out in the deep basins. Best way to catch those is a slip bobber and a panfish leech, or a small jig and plastic. Now, as far as the bass bite, largemouth bass, Boy Bay, Steamboat Bay, they're up in the weed lines, they're in the wild rice, and the best ways to catch those are on spinner baits, some topwater action starting to happen, otherwise throwing a Texas rig or a wacky worm will put fish in the boat there. Now, as far as the smallmouth bass, main lake rocks, that's where the majority of those are hanging out. Ned rig, drop shot, like usual, those are the best ways to catch those smallmouth bass. Now, if you guys are looking to get up to Leech Lake, you want to hire a guide, we highly recommend Leech Lake Guide Team LLC. We fished with Austin this past weekend, had an absolute blast. Very professional, top of the line gear, super comfortable boat. But all the guides there from Leech Lake Guide Team are really good. Whether you want to fish muskies, bass, walleyes, whatever it might be, they'll put you in touch with the right guide. So give them a call, look them up on Facebook, or check them out on their website. All that information is linked below, and you'll go up to Leech and have a blast. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay, Horseshoe Bay Lodge, they got cabins, hotel rooms, condos, full bar and restaurant, a beautiful beach, giant marina. Whether you're staying there or not, you can pull your boat up in there, walk up, have some drinks and something to eat, and enjoy your time up on Leech Lake. So if you're looking to get up to Leech Lake this coming weekend or in the future, go ahead and call Cam or Courtney from Horseshoe Bay Lodge. I also want to mention, guys, Horseshoe Bay Lodge this Saturday from 8 to 11 p.m. Charlie Darmer will be playing live music in the bar there, so definitely stop in and check that out. All right, now moving over to Lake Winnie. The walleye bite was a little bit tougher this week. Tons of different weather came in. High winds, calm days, cold fronts, warm-ups. It kind of had the fish scattered and a little bit tight-lipped. But where people found them was kind of all over. They're still finding them out on the main lake humps in 24 to 28 feet of water. They're also finding them on sand flats in 15 to 19 feet of water, or they're picking up a few on shoreline weed lines in that 8 to 12 feet of water. Now, as far as how to catch them, the minnow bite has started to pick back up. If you can find shiners, great. If not, fatheads are still working. Otherwise, you can still get them on a night crawler and a leech. Whether you're pulling bottom bouncers out deeper, pulling spinners, or just throwing a jig or a slip bobber, you'll probably put a few fish in the boat. Now, as far as the northern pike, they're still going crazy up there, trolling spoons, casting spoons. They're catching a lot of nice northern pike up there right now, and boy, do they make a good fish fry. Now, as far as the perch bite, the perch are very scattered. They're hard to come by. So if you're looking for perch, I would wait a little bit longer to get up there until those perch start to school up. Now, as far as the bluegill, they're finding a few bluegills in the pencil reeds and deeper weed lines on Lake Winnie. But if you really want to get into them, go check out Cutfoot. They're getting them in anywhere from 9 to 12 feet of water on the deeper weed lines. Now, as far as muskie go, the muskie out on Winnie, they're starting to pull up in shallow. Wind-blown points, wind-blown weed lines, wind-blown rocks. That's where they're starting to find those muskies. Bucktails, glide baits, topwaters, they're having success with all of those. So if you're looking to get on a muskie bite on Winnie, it's starting to heat up, so now is the time to start planning. Now, as far as the bass bite goes, they're still up in the shallow weeds. Throw a stupid tube, a spinner bait, wacky rig, Texas rig. If you find the bass, they're hungry, they're gonna bite. And it's a good way to fill your afternoon before heading out for the evening walleye bite. Now, if you're looking for a guide up on Lake Winnie, we highly recommend Scott Zupfer from Zup's Guide Service. Top of the line guide up there. If you want to catch some walleyes and not just go out and fill a live well, but learn what you're doing, definitely check out Zup's Guide Service. You're going to catch fish. He's going to teach you how to catch fish and how to locate them at the different times of the year. Now, he does have some availability still in August and September. I'll probably list a bunch of those dates right down here. He also is offering twilight trips, so if you're the kind of guy who wants to get out and fish the evening from 5 to 9:30, definitely check out the twilight trips that he is offering. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Lake Winnie, the Pines Resort, they got cabins, they got seasonal sites, they got campsites, they got a full bar and restaurant, big beautiful marina, live bait on hand. Whatever you need up there, Chad can help hook it up. So if you're looking for a place to stay this coming weekend or later in the year, definitely check out the Pines Resort. Now, we're going to be up there this coming weekend, so hopefully we'll see some of you guys up there as well. Hopefully we're going to get on some walleyes. We'll probably cook them up in the lodge, and if we do, stop on by, say hello, and maybe get yourself a piece of fish. But with that being said, we are going to move on to Mille Lacs Lake. The walleye bite out on Mille Lacs, it's been solid all year, and it remains to be solid right now. Now, as far as where to find those fish, the majority of them have pushed out deep. They're finding them in 24 to 30 feet of water. The deep gravel, the mud flats, deeper rock, that's what's holding the majority of those walleyes right now. As far as techniques for catching them, bottom bouncers, pulling lead core with crankbaits, or a slip bobber and a leech has been the best ways to get those fish. Now, I want to remind you guys, if you're out on Mille Lacs, you're fishing those walleye out deep, that 28 plus feet. Don't sit there all day and just crank on those walleyes, because the majority of those fish are going to die from barrow trauma. So go out there, catch a few, try and move in a little shallower, that 24 to 26 feet of water. Even that few feet make a huge difference in the survival rate of those fish. Now, if you're looking to catch smallmouth bass, still in that 12 to 18 feet of water, that's where they're holding up on the boulders, the rocks, and shoreline points. The best ways to catch those fish are still on a drop shot or a Ned rig. They are catching some on crankbaits, still getting a few on hair jigs from time to time, but the Ned rig and the drop shot are the best methods right now. Now on calm days, it is pretty tough to get them fish to bite right now. If you are going to fish on a really calm sunny day, park way off the structures, make really long casts, and work that bait really slow. Now on cloudy, windier days, they are really on fire. You don't have to be quite so far away from the structure you're casting on, and they seem to be chomping a lot better on those days. Now as far as the northern pike go, tons of pike are biting now, 8 to 12 feet of water, trolling big spinner baits, spoons, and crankbaits. Isle Bay, they're still catching them there. They're getting them in Walk-On Bay. I know they're catching them over in Cove Bay as well. So those are 3 bays that are really worth checking into if you want to catch some northern pike. Now as far as the perch bite, still scattered, tough to find. I don't know when they're gonna school back up, but as of right now, pretty tough to target the perch out on Mille Lacs Lake. Now as far as the muskie bite goes, the majority of the big fish, they are out in the open water, the deep basins. They're just cruising around. Use your electronics. I don't even know if it's worth making a cast unless you can mark some fish out there. But look for schools of tulipy and you're sure to find some muskies close by. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Mille Lacs Lake, we highly recommend Castles Resort in Isle Bay. They have beautiful cabins. I know they have some availability yet this weekend and throughout the rest of the year. Also, they have pontoons for rent, or you can hop on their launch. It's a blast going out there. They have a grill. You can grill up some meat while you're out there. You can bring your adult beverages or your pop. Bring plenty of snacks and just have a blast when you're out on the launch at Castles Resort. So if you're looking to get up to Mille Lacs Lake this coming weekend or for the rest of the season, go ahead and call Jeff from Castles Resort. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this week's fishing report. Really appreciate all the support we've gotten on the fishing report this season. If you guys could, hit that like button, leave a comment below. It really helps the videos out when you guys participate in commenting. If you want, go ahead, share it out on Facebook or your other social medias. But we hope you guys get out fishing. Have good luck. Remember, be kind at the boat ramp. Don't crowd other fishermen. Be respectful. But most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.